Like I said, we know where these guys are. We know where they live. We know their parents.
You know them as a government?
Of course we do. They live with the same community we live.
So why is it difficult to get them?
That is the $1 million question that I should ask you.
We are trying to understand, for those of us who are now conversant with Zamfara, have never been there, and we hear you as a chief security officer speak tonight to say you know these people, but yet you can't get them. It's a head scratcher.
It is something that we are trying to all put our heads together. That is why, from what I can do as a governor, to have this CPG as a first line of defense. Of course, military are there, police are there, as well as civil defense, but they are not under my control. They are under the control of federal government. And they're
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is the 12th day of January, being Sunday, 2025. The Nigerian security forces, the good ones among them, are very alert and doing everything possible to fight insecurity lately. When I mean lately, the effort they are putting into fighting insecurity now, I don't think they have done that in the past 8 years. Remember that some members of Boko Haram who were inducted into the military left. Majority of them left. I don't know if there are some of them who are left. They left with ammunition, left with healers, they left with gun. That was about 4 months ago. Yeah. So it was something it was scary, because I predicted that there could be surge of this insecurity, and the spread could be unexpected, because it seems that they have come into Nigerian army. They have studied the whole system. So what left? They have to go back and reinforce and start, attack against the Nigerians and also the military. I think that was their mission. Imagine the Boko Haram people, they were begging to come and become president of Nigeria and so on and so forth. Anyway, that is a story for the next video. But as of yesterday, the terrorist group Lakurawua reportedly killed 2 Nigerian immigration officers, civilian in Kebi State. As I told you in my last video on these Lakurawua terrorists, I told you that these people will continue to spread, and they will spread southwest. It's just little by little from Borno to next state. Now they are already in Kebi. So, if they continue like this, and of which I don't see anything stopping them, because these people have been into the Nigerian military system, they have studied the architecture, they know so many things. I don't see anybody stopping them. So the spread is just going southwest little by little. Now, before we go into the details of what happened, I always like to see or to hear what Nigerians are saying or how they are reacting to this particular news this morning. Now, let us go into the comment sections. This one is from Nzenwachas. He said, in my opinion, Tinubu, the president, presently is in control of the Nigerian Senate, should ask the Senate president to facilitate the division of Nigeria just to save lives. That is his opinion. And take this to the bank. That is the opinion of so many people in Nigeria, okay? Now, let us go to Rose Addison. Rose Addison is saying, at this point of time, I think all the youth in the North should unite and fight for their survival, because our government has failed us. Fight for your home, fight for your children. Do not allow terrorists to chase you out of your land. It's so pathetic, and in other way, it's so difficult to fight these people, because they were armed, they are being sponsored, they have the money, ammunition, and the motivation of doing all these things. Then what will motivate ordinary people who are just running for their life? But that is a very sound advice. Fight, fight, fight for your life. Now, this one is from Ezewuchi Albert. He said, they are increasing every day. They want to disorganize or make the country ungovernable for the president. Of course, number one, they are increasing every day. Number two, they want to make the country ungovernable. There is no doubt about that. But number three, the president is not the target. The nation is the target. They said they want Islamic State. They want Islamic State, period. So what are we still waiting for? Let them conduct a referendum in this country. And a lot of people who don't still understand what we speak, what we say, because they are in a position where they are not supposed to say all these things. Well, time shall tell. May God keep us, all of us alive, to witness the end of what we are saying today. Now, the next comment is from Uchenna on, he said, the terror in the North is intentional. It is all for the gains of the white and our greedy politicians giving peanuts. Well, that is the opinion of Uchenna Ongo. Now let's go to the next one. It's from Isugu Jerome. Isugu Jerome is saying, God did bless Nigeria with everything and later punish us with bad leaders. If not, why should all these things be happening? I think Jerome is asking a question that he don't have answers to. For me, the leadership problem in Nigeria takes 30% of the problem. But the leadership is not just the problem. Yeah, from my findings, and this is my opinion, I am entitled to my opinion that the leadership problem is part of the problem, yes, no doubt. But there is a structural problem. Like when those people are Christians, the Holy Book says that, what is it called? When the foundation is destroyed, what would the righteous do? There is a foundational error. When you are solving a mathematical question, use one number to miss the question from the premise. Forget about it. You will never get the same answer. You will never get the same answer till the end of the question. So that is how it is. Now, Ejike Obi is saying, our freedom fighters taking this to another level. Kudos to them. Allah is proud. I don't know what he's talking. Anyway, this is not a laughing matter. This one is from Isaac If Shoyanen. He said the security in the north is so alarming that it needs urgent attention. May God save the north and its predicament. However, dear Isaac, it is no longer about the northern issue now. This is holistic. In Nigeria, every part of Nigeria is under siege. North, south, east, west. And when I see people who are also blaming people, they are saying these particular people are the ones sponsored. See, there is a plan to make Nigeria ungovernable and take over Nigeria. That is just it, okay? Emmanuel, Ifoma Ejika, I think it's supposed to be Emmanuela, okay? So the North Nigeria is terrorist safe haven. Ejike says, you boys are doing well for the North. Youngest mayor is saying, and their Northern brothers are nowhere to be found on the comment section. Ejike will also come back to says, Arawa freedom fighters taking this to another level. Kudos to them. Allah is proud. So he's saying this for the second time. You really want people to notice his comment. So this is the way people are reacting to this current issue going on in the north. Now, let us face the business. What happened? Now, what happened? 2 Nigerian Immigration Service officers and 1 civilian were killed by the newly formed terrorist group Lakurawua on Saturday at Kanjiwa border in the Kanjiwa local government area of Kebi State. Community sources and security operatives confirmed this to Vanguard News on Saturday. They noted that the immigration officers were around a place where a transmitting mast would be installed when the armed group struck, killing 2 of the officers and 1 civilian. The transmitting mast is expected to detect movement around the border and send information directly to the Nigeria Immigration Service database. Out of the article. So the Nigeria Immigration, they were setting up border control technology. Remember that in one of my videos, I talked about border control technology. If Nigeria is a country and if they really want to show that they are not complicit to all these things going on, the porosity of our border ought to be checked. So the immigration now went there to set up a mast that will dictate the movement of people at the border, people carrying ammunition, and send signal directly to the immigration office. So maybe the Lakurawua terrorists discovered that if these people succeeded in doing this, it is going to affect their movement, it's going to affect so many things. What did they do? They now came and killed them. Their mission is to make sure that they did not set up the mask, because once they set up the mask, it will go a long way to helping the Nigerian immigration. And another question people are asking is this: how do they know that such a thing is there? Or how do they know that they are installing such a thing? Well, I think it's informat. They have their people everywhere. So that should be what happened. And the article continues that the Kebi police spokesperson, SP, Nafiu Abubakar, and his counterpart from the immigration did not respond to call for inquiry and text messages. As of the time of finding this report, there were no official statement from the immigration and the police regarding the latest attack. In December, the Nigerian police force confirmed that the newly formed terrorist group Lakurawua was behind the explosion that rocked 2 villages in Dansadao district, Maru local government area of Zamfara state. This has been confirmed by the Commissioner of Police, Muhammadu Shehu Da Ndijan, during an interview with newsmen. The police chief had said 1 person died, while 3 others sustained varying degrees of injuries during the explosion of Yaratasha village along Dansada Road. The incident, it was gathered, occurred after a commercial driver conveying passengers to Dansada town ran into an explosive device suspected to be planted by the terrorists. Dadijan was quoted as saying, "Yes, there was an explosion along Dansada Road this morning and it was a bomb planted under a bridge. The motorist stepped on it and it exploded, killing 1 person and injuring 3 others." All these things happening are the attacks from this newly formed Lakurawua group. Don't forget that the CDS Chief of Defense Staff Musa, when he went to Qatar, told the whole world that these Lakurawua terrorists were friendly when they came to Nigeria. I don't really know what he meant that the terrorists were friendly when they came into the country, but now they are aggressive. I think it's just the same mechanism as explained, that these people, they always study the environment. If they come, they just swing into action, terrorizing. They take time to study the environment before they struck. But this is a terrible situation. Is it going to continue like this? For now, I can tell you that, yes, I can confirm that Nigerian army, the Nigerian soldiers, they are now they're a little bit more serious than before in fighting this. But I can also tell you that they don't have the capacity to stop this, because this is a religious-driven case, cultural-driven case. All this insecurity are sponsored, people supporting it. So it's not like a conventional warfare. It is very difficult to fight. It is very difficult to fight. And with accusation of security agents collaborating with them, I mean, when you induct a repentant terrorist into the army without psychological change, it's supposed to take up to 6 years before a repentant terrorist could be given into the military. The person has to undergo a lot of psychological process, but we don't do all that. And like people whom they have accused of sponsoring terrorism, who are in the government, like Minister of Defense Junior, the governor came to the national television to say that, and nobody seems to believe what the governor is saying, or the people believe they know what is true, and they decided to keep quiet about it. All these things are not going to help us. So it is something dangerous to behold.
In fact, let me say this very categorical. If I were him, I would resign and face all the allegations against me. And that would have been more honorable, because from all the information we're getting, my predecessor was fully involved in some of these banditry issues. Typical is the fact that was a permanent secretary when his children were abducted. And it was unfortunate that he had to pay ransom through the government house. And it was also very clear, based on all the allegations, that bandits were being kept at government house. There are so many issues. So for me, honestly, if I were him, I'll step aside and face this allegation until I clear my name before I come back and continue my job. That should have been more honorable. And how can you imagine all these allegations against him, and he's still the Minister of Defense? I mean, that is unfair. This man could have been honorable, stay aside, face all these allegations, clear his name, and then come back and continue to do whatever he wants to do. Whether he wants to remain as minister or he wants to do something else, that would have been more honorable as far as I'm concerned. If I'm in that position, believe me, I'll put in my resignation letter.
Well, Your Excellency, he has not been nailed by the EFCC, so why do you think he should have been probed before taking up the appointment?
There were a lot of issues in the past.
It's not only about this man that is the governor who accused the Minister of Defense. What about other people like Mandemodu Sheriff, Shetima, a lot of people that have been accused? Nigeria did not address this problem, and that is why people don't have faith in the country anymore. Nobody have faith in the country anymore. So everybody wants Nigeria, majority of people. If you doubt it, let them throw referendum up today. Not even the Odudu or the Biafrans. The whole ethnic group, everybody want to pull out. If you doubt it, throw referendum or conduct a coup and see what could happen.
It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban, they think about the Mujahideens, and they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia, and there is whatever thing they have in their head they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012. Yeah. And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. They mention names. I can't come on air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know, presently in government, that the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now. Some of them are in the Senate. Some of them are in Aso Rock. The intention is to Islamize Nigeria and practice Sharia. And it doesn't matter if some people die. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed. It doesn't matter if our economy has degenerated. Look at the interest rate. Look at the inflation rate. Look at the debt profile of Nigeria. They don't care. As long as at the end, Quran is at the sea. So some people in this country have this mindset. And we must tell the truth. If you tell the truth, you die. If you don't tell it, you die. Some people have this mindset to Islamize the nation. And they are in the government. And people know them. The DSS know them. The NIA know them. The DIA knows them. You can't succeed without an inside person. And this attack you saw has insiders collaboration.